Okay, so this is my video for Nmes, neuromuscular electrical stimulation. I just first wanted to say with this video that I have recorded this so many times on my computer, and my computer just decided to break. So if I accidentally repeat myself, I'm so sorry. And also my iPad that I'm recording this off now has the camera off to the side, so it makes me look like a crazy person looking around the whole time. But I just wanted you to be aware before I start. But yeah, so anyways, with Nmes, with patient safety, I'd want to make sure that they are properly hydrated. I'd want to make sure that they remove metal and jewelry from their body, and as well as clothing from the area. They're still properly draped, obviously. And then I'd want to then make sure that the area is clean. So I'd wipe it down with warm water and like a washcloth to make sure the treatment area is clean. And then when I put the electrodes onto the body, I'd want to make sure that they're evenly placed and not over any bony prominences. And then lastly, like the patient position that they are in. So if I have them laying down or sitting, or I saw them even standing in that one video that you uploaded, I'd want to make sure whatever position that they are in is safe for them and also not gonna provoke any more pain, like compared to when they already had it. So then moving on to contraindications and precautions: cardiac arrhythmias, cardiac pacemakers, like a bladder stimulator, osteomyelitis, DVTs, pregnancies, malignancies, if they have a seizure disorder, and then also you do not want to put it over a carotid sinus. Patient education then, I would explain to them that Nmes is like electrical stimulation. You put these electrodes over a muscle, and it will help go into your muscle and get it to contract for you. But specifically with this machine, this Nmes, you want them to actively contract with it, and I'll get into that later when I talk about the parameters. But the purpose, I guess, that we do this for is to reduce muscle spasms, to get some more blood flow into that muscle, and also like the main purpose is we want to prevent atrophy. So having this machine and then having them like actively contract with it will help get muscle fibers recruited, and so it will help build some strength, and then it will teach the muscle how to like fire properly and recruit those muscle fibers so that it will get stronger and maintain and hopefully increase your range of motion as well. But going into parameters then, I guess I'll talk about like a quad occasionally, so that gives you like better visualization of what I'm trying to say. But so like with the channel mode I saw on that one video, if you're gonna just do one like muscle group, you would keep it on single. So with the quad, I'd keep it on single because we're just gonna do this and we're not going somewhere else as well. And so then phase duration, so the longer the phase duration, the like stronger the contraction, the more fibers that will be recruited. So we would probably put it somewhere between like 200 to 400 microseconds. With the quad, I'd start out maybe first treatment with like 300 microseconds and see how I need to adjust from there. And then let's see, duty cycle. So the duty cycle, that on to off ratio, during that on time that it is contracting for you, the patient is going to actively contract as well. So originally, like starting out, you want that like contraction to rest ratio. You want them to have a lot more rest than they're contracting. So I would start with like maybe a 1 to 9 ratio where it's going for 10 seconds and then off for 90 seconds, or maybe 1 to 5. You just want that ratio to be like higher, a lot higher end of rest compared to when it is going. And as they get stronger, as like we progress through different treatment sessions, you can bring that rest ratio down, so where it's going maybe a little bit longer and then your rest is like shorter too. Yes, and I would also just want to make sure that they are aware that as it's going, they're working hard with it, and then when it stops, they're stopping too. With frequency, I think if you wanted to do fast twitch fibers, you'd do like 50 pps. If you wanted slow twitch fibers, you'd do about like 35 pps. And then with amplitude, when you're turning it up, you want to turn it up to the point where you can see a visible contraction, and that's like a contraction of the muscle when they're not doing anything. Ramp up time, so the time from 0 to that peak, the longer the ramp up time, the more comfortable it probably would be for the patient. So especially at first, I'd want to do probably like at least 2 seconds, 2 to 4 maybe, but then could maybe lower it to if I could tolerate it. And then treatment time, that's just going to be very dependent on like where you're at with the patient, because we are doing active contractions, so we are making them work, so we don't want to fatigue them. So starting out, I'd probably do like 5-minute treatment time at first and see how they handle it, and then if they can do that, then maybe move up to 10 next time, or 15 next time, or 20 next time, just depending on how fatigued they are getting and if you're still getting everything you want out of the treatment. And then when you do put the electrodes on, I guess this is the first thing you would do. You would want to make sure that you're not putting it on the bony prominences, like I said, but you'd want to put them both on the muscle belly. We would want to put one up higher towards like the motor point, which is like the upper part of the muscle, and then you want to put one like a little bit more distally, maybe, depending on where you're at. I guess I'm talking about the leg or the quads, so that's how I would do it. And putting it longitudinally is a lot more comfortable for the patient, and I'd probably do it larger, like electrode, especially with this area, because the larger it is, the less dense it is, and the more comfortable it is for your patient. And then I guess the last thing that I would want to mention about this is with the waveform, biphasic, symmetrical or asymmetrical is like most used with the Nmes.